What's good, Israel? Shalom. Let's go ahead and start this off right. Start off with that right there. All right. So we done that. Established that. Let me see. Shalom, Yasharal. Yeah, I remember I told y'all. I said I'm gonna prove. I'm gonna be able to show y'all and prove to y'all that the sea people are the Canaanites, right? So I want to do something real quick. Huh? Very funny. You see that? All praise to you, How you see that? That's okay. So when I seen that, that has to be a sign. I'm gonna take that as a sign. So let me go ahead and do what I have set up, and then we'll go to the videos. We're gonna go to a few. Let me see. Let me see. Man, come on now. This share screen, boy, is lagging everything. All right. So we're gonna start right here. I dropped some photos right here in the inbox. It's a lot easier for me doing it like this. All praise to Yahweh. So we're gonna start right here. It says this may be small to summarize British Druid connection to the Phoenicians, right? Look at this. Sorry, this is real fuzzy, y'all. British antiquarian Alan Samiz writes in 1676 that the customs, religion, idols, offices, what is this? Dignities of the ancient Britons are clearly Phoenician. John Pinkerton, in his early, what's his fuzzy, Inquiry Law of History of Scotland, 1789, also stated that Druidism was directly descended from the Phoenicians, while the British antiquarian, I can't pronounce that word, William Sturkley, in the book, was that Sword Change? Y'all forgive me, this is real fuzzy. It says believed that he had the marks of an Israelite worship and culture. Let's stop right there. What they're alluding to is that the Israelites would actually go off and start doing the stuff that the Canaanites did, which is public knowledge. So Stokely pointed out Old Testament references to oaks, which gave these the symbol of the mystic attributes of Abraham's altar sacrifice was prepared from an oak tree of Moriah. It says We further we are further told in Hosea 4:13, they sacrifice upon the top of mountains and burn incense upon the hills under oaks. See that? The importance of the worship of oaks in Druidism is well known. Modern Celtic scholars John King in the book The Celtic Druid Year adds, the Hebrew word for oak also means oath, and there is evidence that the oak signifies a burial place. The golden calf, a counterpart of the Druidism image of the god Hu, Gand, whatever that is, and Hu, the mighty, like Noah, who survived the deluge, but the first demons and the lesser deities, of of some of which might seem to correlate of Celtic spiritual figures have been pushed into the back. Thus, the Hebrew connection is little known but factual. We'll stop right there. Remember, whenever you see them try to interject this word, the abre, they're just alluding to the fact that we started following their custom. That's all that means. Perhaps we can do perhaps we can do no better in summing up the study than the quote of the Venerable Sir William Betham, the connection of his Hebrew Canaanite worship, we already dispelled that, worship with his historical traditions of the pagan Irish so evident that the account of the progression of population from the plains of Shinar, or the Middle East, which is that's supposed to be Shinar, to the western extremities of Europe, this is obviously this is obvious, for no one but God's people exhibited the particular mix of true and false religion seen in the early Celts. Okay, so that's interesting, right? So it's basically telling you that the Druids, Canaanites, which it shouldn't surprise you too much. Oh, come on, come on, come on. All right. While we're waiting on that to load back up, I'm gonna get this video. I'm gonna get, you know what? Let me get two videos. Let's shed some light on some stuff, or help shed some light on some stuff. I'll praise the owl. See. All right, I love this sister right here. She's a very dedicated sister. I just want to show y'all something that she says. She points out. Once again, I love this sister, man. Like point blank. So let me see. Show y'all something. I'll find it. Let me see. Okay. Oh, oh, oh. Boy, they always being funny, boy. Okay. So that's stream, y'all. Shalom, shalom, y'all. Shalom, bros. We're finna get this in. All right, man. Why is this doing all this, y'all? Look, y'all. I got full connection here. You see this? Wait a minute. Okay. Okay. Cool. We gotta do it like that. Maybe I went into it too fast. It's on me. Baal, the white god, ruins of Baalbek, Lebanon, Lebanon, Laban is from the Shemitic root Laban, which means white. Laban is an introverted form of Baalin and contains the root Baal. And Baal also means white and also written as Baal. Watch this.
Shalom, everybody. Um, in this video, I wanted to share some information with you guys that you might not be aware of. And I just want to make you aware of it because I know that it's very important. It's one thing for you to hear from our people when they explain to you from the scriptures that we are not supposed to mix. We're not supposed to marry white people, mix with them, or anything like that. But it's a different thing when we look in the scriptures in our own language and we're able to see that information, to see what our forefathers were involved with and why they got themselves in so much trouble. You know, we're reading the scriptures a lot about Baal. Now, the white people will tell you in their religions that Baal was a deity, a Phoenician deity. But there again, that's them lying by omission, because Baal was not a Phoenician deity. Baal was followed by the Phoenicians. And our people started following the lead of Baal as well. But the key is knowing what that word means. When we deal with our language, and this is something I have learned myself, when we're dealing with our language, we can't deal with it the same way we're taught to learn and work with or talk with the English language. Okay, the English language is a Germanic language. The Germans, the sons of Gomer, you know, the Gomerites in the scriptures. But we are not Gomerites. We're not Gentiles. We are not Europeans. We descend from a people whose language is very different. We are Shemitic people. When we approach our language, we have to deal with each word we come across as a tree. And for every living tree, obviously there is a root. And our language is exactly the same way, is root dependent. And you've heard a lot of people say that the Shemitic dialects are consonantal, right? So there are no vowels. Vowel pointers are added later. Of course, our people, when they spoke, they used vowel sounds, but not vowel symbols like they do in English. Strangers or non-Shemites, people who basically impose themselves into our people, into our customs and culture, who were determined to pretend to be us, had to add those vowel pointings for themselves to help them remember. But the natives, our people, didn't have to do that. So what I want to do is I want to basically share with you from our language what the tree called Baal or Baal is really about. Because a lot of people make the mistake of referring to Satan, right? The fallen angel, they refer to him as Satan, as if that's his name. But in our language, the word Satan is not a name. It's not a proper noun. It's used to describe someone's actions, which makes them a Satan or the Satan. The same way they misuse the word Yah, because they're treating the word the way they've been taught to treat words in the English language. In the video that I'm going to post as a reply to YouTuber Kimberly, who sent me the questions, I'll explain that about the word Yah, as well as the word Yahweh. Which is why when you reading in the scriptures in our language...
Let's put a hold to that. I got to interject. TK, Torah Knights, the mighty Torah Knights, all praise to Yahweh for them brothers, has went over the Yahweh thing. And Yahweh was a Judean king. So when you see them use that word, they're actually referencing a Judean king, not the creator.
Language, and you come across the expression Yah Baal, and you realize realize that the word Yah is exactly like the word Satan. It doesn't mean the same thing, but it's used the same way. The word Satan is not a name. The word Yah is not a name. The word Baal describes not a statue that was worshipped by the Phoenicians, not a deity in the terms of how we're taught to define the word deity, but it's actually people. Baal is, and a lot of you might want to sit down for this, especially if you're white. Baal is the white man. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you this from our language, because now remember what the Most High said. A lot of you might want to sit down for this, especially if you're white. Baal is the white man. A lot of you might want to sit down for this, especially if you're white. Baal is the white man. A lot of you might want to sit down for this, especially if you're white. Baal is the white man. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you this from our language, because now remember what the Most High said. That He's going to make sure you get the truth. And He also said that if you are studying to show yourself approved, our language will speak to you anyway. The truth will jump out at you. You're going to discover things that are just horrifying. It's for that very reason when white people started digging around in our languages and realized who they are and what they descend from, fallen angels, they became atheists. And of course, what our forefathers wrote about white people is what caused atheism, I believe, over in Europe. Why so many Europeans were persecuted back in the past when they were found with copies of our scriptures, our writings, and why they have tried so many times to ban the Bible, the so-called Bible.
Let's hold right there, okay? Let me check with y'all. Shalom, shalom. I can wait. I'm gonna throw the link in because I know it start to mess up the sound, but I wanted y'all to get there, right? So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go over real quick. All right, let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12. Because Solomon gave some of their history too. Watch this. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12. For the wine corruptible spirit is in all things, for thine incorruptible spirit is in all things. Therefore chastise thou them by little and little that offend, and warnest them by putting them in remembrance, wherein they have offered that lawing. I can't. There's some of their words. They got typos on here. Their wickedness they may Balu on the Lord, O Lord, on thee, O Lord. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers, both those old inhabitants of the Holy Land. Let's stop right there. For all y'all people who still think we the Amorites, here go King Solomon, once again, the old inhabitants of the Holy Lands, whom thou hadst for doing the most odious works of witchcraft and wicked sacrifices, and also those merciless murders of children, and devourers of man's flesh, and the feast of blood, with their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew, and the parents that killed their own hands or children, souls destitute of help. So you see that this from 1 to 6, this is literally Canaanite past. This is what Solomon is giving you, right? So watch this. I'm probably gonna spell some of these words wrong, but don't worry. Let me get this video. Let me get that video. Quit playing with me, man. Look at that. I'll praise it to you how the blood curdling sacrifices of the Phoenicians. Okay, cool, cool. Watch this. Know thy enemy and know them well. Watch this, y'all. Finna bury him. 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Nope. I don't need to hear you, bro. Watch this, y'all. I want you to listen real carefully.
I'm about to drink some
Yeah,
mud,
loud funny.
and I think you should too. People often ask us why we are called mudwater.
No. Y'all listen real carefully, y'all.
3,000 years ago, in what is modern-day Lebanon, lived one of the most sophisticated people of the ancient world, the Phoenicians. At its height, the Phoenician Empire rivaled the great civilizations of ancient Egypt, Greece, and Rome. But is there a dark side to this enigmatic people? Many archaeologists and historians believe they also sacrificed their own children in horrifying religious rituals.
We have this. Quick stop. The Phoenicians are the Canaanites, and the Phoenicians are the sea people. And I've told y'all they're one and the same. Now I want y'all to get this confirmation for yourself, okay? Massive and very dramatic rite taking place in the dark, involving the cutting of the throat and bloodletting, accompanied by musicians. The Phoenicians had a sacrificer, someone who was especially adept with the knife and could slit throats very effectively. A blood sacrifice on the altar, accompanied by the actual cremation on a funeral pyre.
Did these blood-curdling rituals actually take place? Other scholars dismiss the stories as an ancient smear campaign.
In reality, child sacrifice never existed. It's a tale invented by the many detractors that the Phoenician civilization has had during the centuries. Starting from the Greeks, then the Romans, all the way up to the 20th century.
What? The Greeks, the Romans. See what he did? He putting them on blaze. All he's doing is telling you where these Canaanites went. Listen though.
3 months ago, a group of world-renowned scientists traveled to a small island off the coast of Sicily on a special mission. 6,000 funeral urns have been discovered here, containing the charred remains of cremated Phoenician children. Are these the bones of infants who were sacrificed, or are they merely the cremated remains of children who died of natural causes? By subjecting the remains to cutting-edge forensic analysis and DNA testing, it may finally be possible to discover the truth about this extraordinary people. Called the Canaanites in the Bible, the Phoenicians established a vast maritime empire.
What?
Who died of natural causes.
Y'all hear what he said?
By subjecting the remains to cutting-edge forensic analysis and DNA testing, it may finally be possible to discover the truth about this extraordinary people. Called the Canaanites in the Bible, the Phoenicians.
Called the who?
Called the Canaanites in the Bible, the Phoenicians.
The who?
Called the Canaanites in the Bible.
Okay, so.
Called the Canaanites in the Bible.
Oh, who are they again?
Called the Canaanites in the Bible.
Let's hold that right there. So, once again, the Phoenicians. Hold on. Rock with me, y'all. Y'all see that? Okay, cool. One more time. Because, you got a lot of people, man. People from the biblical days, bro. They didn't exist, bro. They made up, bro. Okay, cool.
The Phoenicians established a vast
Who?
maritime empire.
One more time, yeah.
Testing. It may finally be possible to discover the truth about this extraordinary people.
Ain't that something?
Called the Canaanites in the Bible. Called the Canaanites in the Bible.
What?
Called the Canaanites in the Bible.
One more time.
The Phoenicians
Okay,
established a vast maritime empire.
Wait. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, starting at verse number 4. Whom thou hadst for doing the most ideous works of witchcraft and wicked sacrifices, and those of the merciless murders of children. Okay, so the Phoenicians are the sea people, and according to 225 on this video, they are who?
Called the Canaanites in the Bible.
Okay, cool. So now we understand their origin, right? So let's go back. All right. Okay. Now we do understand there's an alternate for the word Canaanite, and the word is merchant, right? So let's point out some more. Forgive me, y'all, it's kind of fuzzy. Merchant Jews of Amsterdam from the 8th to the 11th century. Remember, merchant means Canaanite, right? The Jews had a long history of being traders and merchants along the Randonite trade route, where Jewish culture and the credit that made trade possible. Okay, so wait a minute. So when we go to Ezekiel 28 and he talks about Tyre and all his merchants, right? And we understand that those merchants changed their name in history.
Called the Canaanites in the Bible.
Okay, cool. So wait a minute. Cool. I'm finna step on y'all neck today. Ezekiel 16. And again the word came unto me, saying, Son of man, cause Jerusalem to know her abominations, and say, Thus said Adonai Yahweh Elohim unto Jerusalem, thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan. Thy father was an Amorite. Wait. Thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan. What Solomon say? Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 3. For it was thy will to destroy the heads of our fathers, both the old, those old inhabitants of the Holy Land. Who was that? Who was the old inhabitants of the Holy Land? Canaanites. Thy birthplace and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan. Thy father was an Amorite, and thy mother was a Hittite. As for thy nativity, on the day thou was born, thy navel was not cut, neither was it washed in water to supple thee, nor were thou salted or swaddled at all. No, I pitied thee to do any of these things unto thee, to have no compassion upon thee. But thou wast cast out into the open field of thy loathing of thy person in the day that thou was born. And when I passed by thee and I saw thee polluted in thy own blood, I said unto thee, Thou wasn't in thy blood, live. Yeah. And I said unto thee, when thou was in thy blood, live. And I have caused thee to multiply as the bud of the field, how that has increased and waxen great, and that art to excellent ornaments to thy breast, and fashion to thy own hair grown, whereas it was naked and bare. Now, when I passed by thee and I looked upon thee, behold, the time was the time of love, and I spread my skirt over thee. and covered thy neck in this year. I swore unto you and entered into a covenant with you. So Yahweh did save them at one point. Why? Because they was cursed by Noah, and that curse fell down every 4 generations. What does Psalm say? Yahweh was close to those who are brokenhearted and downtrodden. Being a baby thrown out, and your parents ain't gonna take care of you no more. You don't get no worse than that. All right. And I swear unto thee, enter into a covenant with thee, and said that Yahweh Elohim, thou hast become mine. And when I washed thee with water, I thoroughly washed away thy blood from thee, and anointed thee with oil, and I clothed also with broidered work, and shod thee with badger skin, and I girded thee about fine linen, and covered thee with silk, and I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon your hands, and a chain on thy neck, and I put a jewel on thy forehead, and the earrings in thy ears, and a beautiful crown upon thy head. Thus thou wast decked in gold and silver, and thy raiment was of fine linen, silk, and embroidered work. Thou didst eat fine flour and honey and oil, and thou wast exceedingly beautiful, and thou didst prosper into a kingdom, and thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty, for it was perfect through my comeliness which I have put upon thee, said Yahweh Elohim. But thou didst trust in thine own beauty, and playedst the harlot because of thy renown, and thou pouredst out thy fornication on every passerby. It was, and of thy garments thou did take, and deckest the high places with diverse colors, and playedst the harlot thereupon. Like the things shall not come, neither shall it be so. Thou hast taken thy fair jewels of my gold and my silver, which I had given thee, and madest thyself images of men, and didst committest whoredom with them. And thou tookest broidered garments and covered them, and thou hast set mine oil and my incense before them. My meat also my meat also which I gave thee, fine flour and oil, honey, wherein I fed thee, and thou hast even set it before them for a sweet savor. And thus it was said, Yahweh Elohim, moreover thou hast taken thy sons, listen, moreover thou hast taken thy sons and daughters, whom thou hast born unto me, and these thou hast sacrificed them to be devoured. Is this of thy whoredoms a small matter? Thou hast slain my children and delivered them to cause them to pass through the fire for them, for them idols, right?
Called the Canaanites in the Bible,
The who?
Phoenicians established a vast maritime empire, sailing all over the Mediterranean, trading gold and silver, olive oil.
All right. Ezekiel 27:1. The word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, now take up this lament against Tyrus, and say unto them, Is thou, O thou art situated in the entry of the sea, which are a merchant, remember, of the people from many isles. Ain't that what that just said? I gotta do that. Sorry, y'all, got to.
Called the Canaanites in the Bible, the Phoenicians established a vast maritime empire, sailing all over the Mediterranean, trading gold and silver, olive oil, and fine wine.
Ezekiel 27:4. Thy borders are in the midst of the seas. Thy builders have perfected thy beauty. They have made all thy ships of fir trees, Sinar. They have taken cedars from Lebanon to make mast of these. Of the oaks of Bashan they have made thine oars. Of the company of the Asherites have they made thy benches of ivory and brought to the isles of Kittim. Now I'm gonna show y'all something. When you look in the Septuagint, Kittim is actually Rome. The word there is Rome and not Kittim. Okay. For fine linen with broidered work from Egypt was which thou spread it out to be thy sail. Blue and purple from the isles of Elish was which thou covered thee. The inhabitants of Zidon, Arvad, are thy mariners. The wise men, O Tyrus, were in thee, and they were thy pilots. So wait. Let's see. Let me see. Okay. Forget to follow on my page, y'all. Please forget that. Okay. So, boom. The hornet shall go among you. And remember, the hornet changed the way they look. I used this in my debate with Chris. It says evidence has identified all related, and I don't deal with the word Mongolian, groups as the true descendants of the biblical Canaanites. These are Africans. Take a good fucking look. Okay, cool. I don't want no more Israelites hit me up in my inbox talking about, bro, how the Canaanites, how they look like that now. Don't talk to me about that shit no more. If you're a so-called learned person, just don't do it. The Jehovah Witness in the book titled Did Man Get Here by Creation or Evolution on page 407 that the black race came from Cush, not due to the curse of Canaan, whose descendants were white. Now this is the European who has admitted that he is a descendant from Canaan, that he is a cursed seed. So this wasn't wrote by no black folks, right? Okay, cool. You don't know your enemies, man. Let me see. Okay. This right here is from the book of Josephus. This is somewhere around the fifth book, and I want to say around the 12th. It says, now upon the treatment of the wicked Jews, those that managed their affairs, supposing that we were of kin to them and practiced as they do, make us liable to the same accusations, although we be originally Sidonians. What's good? What's good? I see you say you need that screenshot. I got you, bro. If you need it, bro, hit me up, bro. I'll send it to you. What's good though, man? What's good, y'all? This just some. Remember, I did a video a few videos back. I told y'all, I said I'm gonna do some confirmation. I said I'm gonna do some confirmation, and you was gonna be able to see for yourself that the sea people are the Canaanites. One more time, y'all. Come on, y'all. Y'all know I gotta do this. It's too fun.
Called the Canaanites in the Bible, the Phoenicians established a vast maritime empire, sailing all over the Mediterranean, trading gold and silver, olive oil, and fine wine.
Mm-hmm. Forget to follow on my page, y'all. That's all I can say. I'm a real person. I'm not perfect. All right. So then look. So what Yahweh was showing was the hornet, right? What the hornet do to them people. And for y'all people who don't want to understand this, they was black people at first. Point blank, period. You see this? This is what the hornet did to them. Remember? Remember? Uh, where is it at? I messed up. I know what's in what was it? Exodus, where it started talking about Miriam. Remember that part? Here you go, Exodus 4:6. Well, that was this is the prelude to our curse. It said, and the Lord said further upon him, putting out thy hand in thy bosom, and put thy hand into thy bosom. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous, white as snow. I'm gonna break that down. Numbers. I'm sorry, here you go. That's what I want. And the cloud departed from the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. That's a curse from God. Point blank, period. Now, yes, we have all mixed now, so you don't know who is who, so you can no longer look at people's color. Let me make that clear. I'm not here to bash people about their color. I'm here to simply share the truth. That's all. But since we've mixed so much, you don't know who is who. This is why you must go off people's spirit. And also, another allegory is confusion of face. It's the speckled bird. Okay, the speckled bird, the confusion of face. It's all meaning the people who look like something but actually are tied to something else. Let me give you an example. Some of the greatest people to me in my life have been white people, and some of the worst people to me in my life have been black, and vice versa. So it's not about your color, it is your spirit. And I'm going to leave it at that. Learn, brothers, understand. But we still shed light on this history, though. I got a good one for y'all. Kind of off topic. This is a picture of Cape Town, South Africa. That's, well, we know what that is. That's the hornet again. And that's that same black dude. Nowadays, they call it Eucoderma vitiligo. I know why y'all being fun. I didn't pull that up. Yeah, I seen what I clicked on. Just want to throw this in here real quick. Come on. Quit doing all that. This is a picture of Cape Town, South Africa. Now, you gonna tell me somebody carved all of that? Shit sounds stupid, man. Take a good look. That's Cape Town, South Africa. Make it make sense to me, y'all. Josh is real. Make it make sense to me. We might wrap this one up because this one ain't gonna be a hundred long. But oh yeah, let's do this real quick so we understand. Get some shed some light on some understanding of this. Some nope. Zemza means they also compared the land of the. Okay, cool. Well, uh-uh. Okay, here you go. So nice in appearance until behold. Okay. Sorry, I think I need to go three. Forgive me, Salakia. Okay, here you go. This is Deuteronomy 3 and 1. Then we turned and went up the way of Bashan, and Og, king of Bashan, came out against us, he and all of his people, to batter Eridai. And the Lord said, Fear him not, for I will deliver him and all of his people into thy hand. And thou shalt do unto him as thou hast done to Sihon, king of the Amorites, which dwelt in Heshbon. It says, So Yahweh our Elohim delivered into our hands Og, also the king of Bashan, and all his people, and we smote him until none was left and him remaining. And we took all his cities at that time, and there was not a city which we had took from them. 60 cities in all the region of Argob and the kingdom of Og and Bashan, and the cities were fenced with high walls, gates, and bars, besides unwalled towns and great and mighty. I want to stop this. This is the proof of how the Canaanites went off. When you're supposed to have complete faith in Yahweh, you won't need a walled city. The point that they kept building them walled cities was just another point of their iniquity. All right. And we utterly destroyed them. And we did unto Sihon, king of Heshbon, utterly destroying the men and the women and the children of every city. But the cattle and the spoil of the cities we took to pray for ourselves. This is okay. For only, I'm just gonna start at 9. Which Hermon the Sidonians call Siron, and the Amorites call it Shinar, which is Sinai, whatever. And the cities of the plain of Gilead and all Bashan unto Shalach and Eridu, cities of the kingdom of Og and Bashan. For only king of Og of Bashan remained of the remnant of giants. Behold, his bedstead was a bedstead of iron, and it is not in Rabbath of the children of Ammon. 9 cubits was its length, therefore 4 cubits was its breadth after the cubit of a man. Let's just see what they'll show us. I don't think they'll show us too much on this. Nine cubics. They're giving a comparison. Okay, I'm not saying this is the actual bed of Og. That's not what I'm saying. What we're doing is looking at the comparison of how big his bed would have been in comparison to average sized people. Okay. Like a comparison. Remember, it said he was the last of these giants, and it said his bed was made of pure iron. So, dude was a big motherfucker. Point blank, period. Okay. One more time, because we finally finna end this thing off, I don't know if brothers want to come on, but I know my sound start acting funny when I bring people on. Nothing personal, y'all.
Called the Canaanites in the Bible, the Phoenicians established a vast maritime empire, sailing
Eustace Mullins, Curse of Canaan. Preface. After 40 years of patient study of the crises which faces humanity, I arrived at a very simple conclusion: all conspiracies are satanic. In retrospect, this conclusion should surprise no one. I admit that it came as something of a surprise to me. I had never anticipated that my decades of work would lead to such an all-encompassing and unchallengeable solution. This answer had eluded me through the years, not because I was on the wrong track, but because I had not yet consulted the ultimate source of knowledge, the Bible. To trace the machinations of the materialist conspiracy, I had deliberately limited myself to materialist sources, reference material on banking, politics, economics, and the biographies of those who were most deeply involved in these affairs. When at last I did decide to look up some references in the Bible, a task which was greatly simplified by a number of excellent concordances, such as Nelson's and Strong's, I was overwhelmed by its immediacy, by its directness, and by the applicability of its words to present-day happenings. As the months went by and I continued this research, I was not overwhelmed by a sense of déjà vu, but by an overpowering conviction that very little had changed in the last 3,000 years. My first revelation was that God has no secrets from man. It is Satan who must confine his work to stealthy conspiracies, to deception, and to promises which will never be kept. And the great dragon was thrown down, that ancient serpent, who is called the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world. Rev. 12-9. It is for this reason that politicians, of necessity, must become followers of Satan in the rebellion against God. Politicians must deceive the people in order to gain power over them, just as Satan must deceive the whole world if he is to continue his rebellion against God. Satan takes you to the top of the mountain and offers you all the kingdoms of the earth. Martin Luther King proclaimed, "I have been to the top of the mountain," but he never revealed what had taken place there. The politician offers you free food, free lodging, free medical care. Everything will become free at last. The politician offers to defend you against your enemies, so that he can deliver you to the ultimate enemy, Satan. God does not make offers to you in competition with Satan and his politicians. What could God offer you when he has already given you the whole world? What more could he do than to send his only begotten Son to preserve this world for you when it was threatened by Satan? And why would God wish to veil his love for you behind arcane
Minus all that stuff, dude hit on some pretty good points.
mysteries, occult conspiracies, and obscene practices? Once my return to the Bible had given me the answers for which I had been seeking so many years, I realized that I had arrived at the culmination of this life's work. I had eagerly sought out the facts about each of the many conspiracies, and I now was able to define their interlocking into the one world, conspiracy of conspiracies. I had traced the names and activities of the principal actors in the satanic drama which this world has become, a world which I described in 1968 in My Life in Christ as Satan's Empire. This was an oversimplification, although I was not aware of it at that time. I had written this book under great stress. My father had died as the result of harassment by federal agents. Their goal was to force me to give up this work. Other members of my family continued to undergo daily harassment because of the federal campaign against me. I had not been overcome by despair, but it did seem to me, in that period of my life, that Satan had indeed achieved a temporal victory over this world, not a permanent victory, but a gain which he could defend and which he might consolidate for years to come. The next 40 years brought me many startling revelations of the behind-the-scenes forces which had planned and perpetrated the mass murders of humanity. I had finally, as one writer put it, uncovered the forces of war. I was also able to find the sources of the satanic ideology, which has been consistently employed to deceive humanity, and to trick them into becoming unwitting tools of the satanic programs, an ideology which...
Yeah, I think that's a joke. Let me show y'all something. Let me turn the sound off. I'm going to turn the sound off just so we can get this. And I don't promote none of this. I'm not going to show y'all none of this because I'm promoting this. I'm going to show y'all something. For y'all who think that's a joke, think they don't push this, I'm going to show y'all. They keep on doing the same playbook. Now watch this. Act like y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. Act like y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. Y'all remember this shit? We know what that is, right? We know what she's really holding, right? Now remember, this is a goat. The horns, the goat face, and you see she's holding, like she's driving the beast. Now remember, it's spiritual. Because remember, the book of Revelation says the whore will ride the beast. They use you. See, Jake, they know your connection to God. So they use you to perpetuate all this evilness. You know why? Because your connection to God means God gonna deal with you on the left hand or the right hand. I'm gonna show y'all something. Just so y'all think this is called bullshit. And I don't promote none of this shit. But I'm gonna show y'all something. I'm gonna show y'all when one of these people fall out. See, she done got too old now, so her influence ain't there. But see, they gonna use their new puppets to push the same agenda. This is all Canaanite shit, y'all. Watch this. Why she got the same thing on she got. I don't promote none of the folly, y'all, so I'm not showing this for the promotion. And I'm gonna leave the sound off so you can actually focus in on what I'm finna show y'all. And I got one more thing, and then we'll probably end this on off. If they let it stay up, I don't know. I'll praise Yahweh either way it go. Now I'm gonna show y'all Gail wearing the same thing she wearing. So please ignore the folly, y'all. That what she's wearing is the same Baphomet that she's wearing. See, they show it real fast. You see that? You see that? It's the same goat again, bro. It's the same shit, man. This one, they just threw it to the side. This one, they put it up. And then, y'all don't see Gail as a witch. You see how the cross is upside down, which the cross really represents Jerusalem. Gail a witch. And I'm going to show y'all. When they hit the end of the video, what do? They put her in the full witchcraft uniform right there. Now, what she got? 6, 8. So we know the 8-pointed star. She's supposed to be the demon. Excuse me. She's supposed to be the conjurer. They're supposed to be the demons that surround her. This is supposed to be the pentagram that she's in. If you pay attention to what you look, this is witchcraft. Not only is it witchcraft, not only is this witchcraft, but they're introducing you into it. So when you do these things, you become the practitioner. Is that important? That's very important. Let's get that. Alrighty. This is Deuteronomy 18, starting at verse number 10. There shall not be found among you anyone that will make of his son or daughter to pass through the fire, or that uses divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter of familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all of these things are an abomination unto Yahweh. And because of these abominations, Yahweh thy Elohim drive them out from before thee. Y'all know what that is. This is witchcraft, yo. And who is all that witchcraft come from? Remember? Wisdom of Solomon 12:14. And thou, Wisdom of Solomon 12:4, whom thou hadst for doing the most ideous works of witchcrafts, with the S, not just one, and wicked sacrifices. And we understand that to be the Canaanites. So with that, I want to say all praises to Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh. Shalom, y'all. And if y'all want to, somebody else go live and we'll continue this. But for right now, shalom.